I have developed this 7 steps process for anthropometric design. Some people call this workstation design. If you read ergonomics book, most of them call it workstation design. However, this is basically anthropometric design. You can call workstation design whatever you prefer. Now, design for reach. So step number 1 is to figure out whether you are trying to design to reach something. For example, a fire extinguisher. Are you trying to reach a fire extinguisher? In that case, you try to make sure that the smallest person can reach it. Now, design for fit is, think about you're trying to feed the largest person. So think about you're trying to design a door, so you have to make sure that largest person can get in. If the largest person can get in, then the smallest person will be able to do that. Now, design for 50-50 percentile. This one is usually for not for reach or not for fit. You try to accommodate the maximum number of people possible. Now, in all of this situation, you try to accommodate the maximum. Design for reach. If the smallest person can reach, the tallest person or largest person can reach too. If you can feed the largest person in the world, you can basically feed everybody. Now, so all of these cases, you're actually trying to feed the more number of people possible. Now think about a grocery store cash register where they are trying to, make sure that more people can use it. Now classroom desk, for example. Oh, I don't know why I'm getting these balls, yellow balls. No clue. So classroom desk or my office desk, which is not non-adjustable. So in that kind of situation, you take the average of 50 percentile male and 50 percentile female. So once you figure out what type of design is it designed for reach or design for feet or design for 50-50 percentile. After that, you're trying to figure out the body dimension appropriate for that particular design. For example, door height, then you use the stature height. Now this word looks like some of my students really didn't have any clue what that word means. That means they're not probably used anymore. This thing is called standing dimension. I have never got these balls. It's just coming up. I don't know why. Dimensions. I hope the spelling is correct. So, standing dimension, CDC, Center for Disease Control, they have started to use that standing dimension rather than stature. However, if you're watching this video, you're probably into ergonomics, so make sure you know that the standing height is called stature. Anyway, so if you're designing a door height, then stature height is the appropriate dimension. And then you're trying to think of which user population. Is it male stature height or female stature height? First of all, if it's a door height example, then you're trying to feed the largest person, the tallest person in the world. So then stature height is the most appropriate one. And then you try to make sure the largest male get into that door. Then the female will also be okay. They will also can get in. I will not hit their head in the top of the door. The next thing is you try to make sure which percentile you going to fit. Is it 99 percentile? Typically, if it's not a safety issue, you stay with either for fitting 95th percentile or reaching 5th percentile. So fit typically 95th percentile and then reach typically 5th percentile, the smallest person. If it's a safety issue, if you have a situation where somebody can hit their head in the door height and then they can get injured, then you always go for 99 percentile. You cannot have 100 percentile. So you figure out which percentile to use and then you check the anthropometric tables to find that appropriate value. Stature height, for example. So US male stature height is 69.5 inches. Now, you have to be careful on the anthropometric data. Most textbook has the data that was collected in 1988 from US Army. So now this one is from the recent Center for Disease Control data. most recent one. Now, if you look, check this one is something like 68.5. So in these 30 years, people kind of grow 1 inch. So anyway, we can talk about that in later video. So the process of anthropometric design, once you figure out what's the percentile, and then you try to extract the value from the table for that particular percentile. If it's not available, I'll show you another video how to convert the percentile to something that you want. And then you have to also think about the clothing adjustment. For example, somebody's wearing shoes, and maybe someone is wearing I don't know why this is coming like that. Shoes, maybe the Lincoln hat, which is about 6 inches tall. Shoes, heel height, male population about 1 inch. So you have to consider that. And then you add all of them up. So that will give you the final dimension for the door height. In the next few example, I will show you how to convert dimension for the particular value in Excel. I'll also give you some example like door height, seat height, things like that.